Welcome to Charleston, South Carolina for tonight's USL playoff match. The second consecutive year the Charleston Battery welcome Red Bulls 2 to MUSC Health Stadium. And this is it, Derek. It's do or die. Every match between these two teams this season has been a high-scoring one. Last time they met right here, it was a 4-4 thriller. And when you look at them both, it's hard to imagine that we're not in for a fantastic game tonight. One of the players for the visitors that we want to keep our eye on, who caused some problems for the Battery in the last matchup, it's Tom Barlow.
Yeah, Tom Barlow came onto the game last time, Denny, and scored a hat-trick. It was a fantastic turnaround for that team, you know, from being 3-0 down to bring them back and end up in a 4-4 tour. So he's one that the home team's really going to have to look out for tonight. He's
only made 8 starts so far this season, but we know whether he starts or he comes in as a sub, he can find the back of the net. Well, we are about to join in with the proceedings of the national anthem below us. We're actually going to take a look at tonight's starting lineups presented by Banner. And well, for Mike Anhauser's side, it's Joe Kosminski that starts between the sticks, the 3-man back line tonight. Neville Hackshaw, Captain Taylor Mueller and Skylar Thomas, Tarbran Anunga, Angelo Kelly, the duo in the middle, Bolt on the left, Woodbine on the right tonight. And the trio up top for Mike Anhauser with 26 goals combined this season. It's Nico Rittmeyer, Atula Guerra and Gordon Wild. Well, for the visitors, Evan Lauro gets the nod in goal. Yanes, Pullitz, Endam and Cutler across the back four. Tenari and Lima and Aguinaga will patrol the middle of the park. And the trio up top for them tonight, Amando Moreno, Tom Barlow and Jared Stroud. Well, we're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back to MUSC Health Stadium, we'll have kickoff. We'll see you in just a minute. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium for tonight's USL playoff match. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. And this is gearing up to be an absolutely fantastic game, Derek. 4th and 5th seeds in the Eastern Conference meet tonight. And while we have a second, let's take a look at that playoff bracket, because we have just finished watching Cincinnati and Nashville. If you don't know the score yet, then close your ears, because it's Cincinnati that will advance on penalties.
Yeah, that was what we just saw the tail end of that just before we came live, so it was a great start. So now the Battery know, and New York Red Bulls, that the winner of this game goes on to play in Cincinnati next week. So I'm sure that's an incentive for both teams to play in what is a fantastic atmosphere.
Well, we are just about ready to go tonight. Fantastic conditions. We had a small spell of rain earlier, which has made the field nice and slick. And a very offensively strong New York Red Bulls too, the eldest player in the starting lineup being just 23 years old. And Charleston Battery very defensively sound. But tonight, both managers chosen to go with 3 up top. It's going to be a high-pressing game.
Yeah, I saw the interview this week with Mike Anhausen. He says sometimes the best way to defend these teams is to attack them. So and I think that's a great attitude to take at home. We've got a great crowd. This is an unbelievable night to play soccer here. Perfect conditions, no wind, great temperature, and 2 very, very attacking teams. I'm sure we're in for a cracker tonight.
And like we said in the pre-game, 4-4 last time these 2 teams met here. They handed the Charleston Battery only their 2nd loss at home all season long.
Yeah, and that game was pivotal on a couple of decisions. You know, the Anunga sending off, you know, definitely affected the game. It affected the mentality of the players and the teams. And you know, Tom Barlow coming on with his hat-trick, you know, that was a great introduction to the game. So, but I think we're in for a good attacking game here.
Here come the Red Bulls on the attack. Like we mentioned, a lot of their goals, 66 of the 71 goals this season, have come from inside the box. And tonight, the Charleston Battery 3-man backline are going to have to work hard to keep them high and keep the pressure out. Yeah,
that was a good chance, wasn't it? I think Jay Bolt's done well at the back post there, just getting his body in front here. We'll see it here now. Look, he gets up nice and early and just does enough to put the striker off there. So that was a good early chance for the Battery. And I think tonight we're going to get lots of attacking play. We're going to get lots of chances. And really tonight's going to be which team can take those chances. You know, the Battery really needs Guerra to have a big game, Gordon Wild to have a big game. And as I said, hopefully the home team's going to relish seeing lots and lots of attacking play during this game.
Jared Stroud plays it into the middle. Aguinaga. Tanari picks it up. Picks up some space. Through to Barlow. Now leads Moreno into the attack. Bolt with the press to the top of the box. Tanari lays it off to Cutler. Cutler with 2 goals this season. The outside wing-back likes to get forward, so keep your eye on that tonight. Moreno just dancing around the ball. We'll see Ethan Cutler if they get a set-piece opportunity, which is something that both teams have proven that they can capitalise on. Traffic at the top of the box. And the Red Bulls pressing high in the early going. A lofty ball to the top of the box. Is it worked through to Barlow? Mueller struggles to get it out on his feet. And safety first from the captain.
Yeah, he looked a little bit nervous there, didn't he, Taylor Mueller? He just sort of lost his foot in a bit and then just played it to safety. And, you know, even though the Battery haven't made a great start at the minute, you know, they've got plenty of men behind the ball and, you know, they've proven time and time again they can absorb pressure.
Here is the pressure, this time away by Skylar Thomas. To the top of the box, the strike is taken deflected. And this is going to bring up the first set-piece opportunity of tonight in the 3rd minute. And it'll be the captain, Andrew Tanari, to take it.
Yeah, and set pieces could be vital tonight, couldn't they? You know, as I said, you know, good delivery into the box. There's plenty of big players on both sides. And I'm sure, you know, everyone's looking to try and get that little spare player in the box so they get a free header. Here we go.
Tanari's created the most chances in the USL with 102. Leads the team in crosses this season with 150. But now here could be a chance for a counter-attack. It's Guerra leading Nico Rittmeyer, and solid defending from Cutler, who goes all the way back to Lauro.
Yeah, and one of the big features tonight in this game, I truly believe it's going to be the strength and the mobility and the desire of the front three for the Battery tonight. In the past, they've proven time and time again that they can stop teams from playing out from the back. They can put them under pressure. And I think if they get 3 good games from those 3 front players, you know, with a view to maybe changing them later on in the game, I think that's where the battery's going to have their most success. And as I said, they've proven it time and time again that that's a big feature of their game.
Kuzminski forced with the clear out the back. Red Bulls get us back underway quickly, looking to catch the battery off. Tom Barlow again just creeping in behind the back line. Keep your eye on him tonight. We mentioned him earlier in the broadcast, just 23 years old, 6'2". And like we mentioned, 8 goals on the season so far, 3 against the Charleston Battery last time these two teams met.
So it's a ground that he knows well, it's a surface he knows well, and yeah, I'm sure he'll be absolutely thriving to play here tonight.
Mueller for Thomas at the back. The MLS veteran gets his first touches on the ball. O'Brien Woodbine. And the centre back, just 19 years old, 6'4". Tremendous athlete for the visitors. Here comes Angelo Kelly, takes his touches down the flank. Can he work it into Wild? And is there for Tenari. Jared Stroud drops back into the mix. Lima. Out wide for Yanes. Tar Brian Anunga. The Cameroonian in the middle of the park tonight for Mike Anhauser's just been a pivotal role this season.
Yeah, no, he's been fantastic. As have many of the players. I mean, you know, you don't get to come 4th in the division without having lots of players that are on form and playing well. As I said, though, I think that the secret tonight is, you know, what can the front 3 bring to the table? You know, you've got Guerra. We know he can score goals. Nico Rittmeyer's really established himself in his team this year. He's good at taking players on. Gordon Wild scores a spectacular. So if any one of those 3 or a combination of 2 of those 3 can get involved in this game, it's going to be a really good, exciting game for the Battery.
Another key to the match that we saw all too well in the last game is quick restarts every time that there's a throw-in or set piece. Keep your eye on both of these teams starting quickly. Woodbine brought back this time by the man in the middle, Rosendo Mendoza, for tonight's match. He's assisted by Walter Heatherly and Jeffrey Skinker.
The other thing, you know, I'm not sure both these teams, the coaching staff, the players will know what game they've got, but I'm sure before they started they'll be thinking of, you know, a big game in Cincinnati. It's a great atmosphere to go there and play. So that's what they'll be thinking.
A team that was taken to penalties to find the winner again this season. They've drawn 3 times prior to that. That one will roll all the way back for Kuzminski. Out to the captain. Hackshaw. Down the line looking for Bolt. Return to sender. Barlow on Mueller's heels. Catching up with Captain Taylor Mueller earlier this week and talking about Red Bulls pressuring high in the box. He said one of the keys for them is no short clearances. Anytime there's danger, they've got to opt for the long ball out the back. And that's something that the Battery can capitalise on, is those counter-attacks out of the back, Derek.
Yeah, and I also think that, you know, playing good balls like this from back to front
Woodbine into Wild, who couldn't quite get the direction on that header.
Yeah, I think there he needs a little call there. That he's got loads of time. I think if he could just get above it. Great ball in by Woodbine. It's a little bit too high, to be fair to him, but it came down from a great height. If he could have just adjusted his feet slightly and got over the ball, I think he could have that was a good chance to score there. But, you know, again, it shows he got 3 in the box, didn't he? You know, that I'm sure that would be a worrying sign for New York Red Bulls too, having someone with that much space in the 6-yard box.
The transition to the attack is expected to be very slick for both these sides tonight, especially committing so many numbers forward. Anunga wins it from Tenari. Endam out the back. The ball through to Moreno, looking for Barlow, but he will be offside. One of the things tonight, Derek, especially with the young Red Bulls 2 side, is who can keep their emotions the calmest and collect their feelings.
Yeah, you've got to say, you know, the Battery certainly should have an advantage in that respect, shouldn't they? They've, you know, although they lost to them last year, you know, they've got plenty of players that have played in playoffs and done very well. And, you know, I've always said with youth teams, it's always difficult to know what you're going to get. You know, sometimes not having played before can be an asset because you don't know the fear, you don't have any emotion, you know, you've never experienced before. That's why I think if the Battery really can start to dominate the game early, can they get an early goal, then it would be a real test for some of these young players. However, if it goes the other way and New York Red Bulls too get up early, you know, their enthusiasm can raise and raise and raise, and then they can be very difficult to beat.
Aganaga works it to Moreno, dancing around Hackshaw but can't get through. Gordon Wild drops back into the mix to help defend and does enough to win his side the throw. Fans, let me remind you that Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportsamerica.com and receive free shipping on orders over $50.
I think the referee he's seen something there. I'm not sure what he saw, because Guerra was actually trying to get out the way rather than trying to get the ball. But we've got a free kick here just inside the half, and again, even these can be dangerous if if good delivery goes into the box. You know, all the defenders got to be on, and then it's the second phase ball that everyone's working off of.
Andrew Tanari over it. He'll leave it for Chris Lima. Lima with 5 assists on the season so far. The New Jersey native takes the majority of the corners for Red Bulls too, so no surprise him stepping up over this set ball. Woodbine wins it on the far side. Guerra into the attack.
Woodbine's not really going to get the time that he thinks he's going to get there. You know, he's playing against kids that are a lot younger. I think the referee's just giving him a warning there for kicking the ball away. But yeah, Woodbine just needs to play that little bit sharper, a little bit quicker. He's a very experienced player. We've spoken about him many times before. But sometimes when you get the other side of 30, you know, some of these young players putting you under pressure, you just got to make sure you're up to the speed of the game.
Lofty ball forward from the Jamaican international. Bolt steps in and wins it back for his side. Atula Guerra struggling to get through. It's Paulitz on the chase. One-on-one with the Trinidad and Tobagan. And the referee will give that in favour of the visitors. And that is 1 foot race you don't want to get caught in, Derek, with Atula Guerra. No, and I don't think it was a foul. I mean, as I said, he's trying to get... Oh, yeah, he's just had a little tug at him there. But, you know, that's very frustrating when strikers do that, because you've got the player, he's under pressure. You might get a corner, or you might get a throw in. You know, the last thing you want to do is get them out easy with a get out of jail card and just, like, you know, give them an easy free kick. Some of his experience should know a little bit better. Atula Guerra leads the team in both goals scored and assists, with 15 goals on the season and 5 assists. It's really been his setup play that's been the key lately. So keep your eye on him combining with the trio up top tonight.
Yeah, no. And as I said, you know, we talk about stats all the time, and that, but, you know, at this stage of the season, the most important stat is who's going to score goals tonight.
A quick transition from the Red Bulls. It's Stroud looking for Aguinaga. Mueller out of the back.
Yeah, it was a loose one by Hackshaw there, wasn't it? It's very unusual for him. And Jay Bolt's got plenty of space here. If Nico Rickmeyer can find him early, there you go.
Rickmeyer for Bolt, who looks to take a touch inside. Falls back for Rickmeyer, the Savannah native, College of Charleston product that's really come into his own this season for Mike Anhauser. Hackshaw switches flanks. Good ball to O'Brien Woodbine. Woodbine cuts inside, looking to the top of the box and over the bar. Just lifts his hand up there.
Yeah, but he can come in off of both sides. I mean, he's got a great strike. I saw you taking the penalties with him this week, and you can see he's a great technician, trying to make out his left foot with his weaker foot. But there it probably was. But he does very, very well. He can come in off both sides. He's a good striker of the ball. And as I said, that's a good sign for the battery that he's prepared to come in. Shows he's got some confidence. And, you know, if he gets another strike at that, hopefully he can get one on target.
O'Brien Woodbine challenged me to the crossbar challenge earlier this week. Head to the Charleston Battery Twitter to see who won that one. Like you said, Derek, fantastic strike. Andrew Tanari. This could be a good ball through, well read by Mueller. And it's really the players like Mueller for Mike Anhauser that they'll be looking for, his experience in these playoffs to really guide the rookies through. On the other hand, Red Bulls, we talked about what a young squad they've got. Yeah, no, and Mueller there, he had a little poor start, didn't he? Put that one out for a throw-in right in the first minute. But there you see the confidence of him and his experience. He's straight back into his game right now. And he is an absolute pivotal player for the battery. He's a leader. He's the captain. He's got loads of experience. He's been here many times before. And his job now is to lead his team into the next round and have that big, you know, game against Cincinnati. Mueller is in his 7th season with the battery. The 30-year-old is 4th in all-time appearances at the club. Like you said, a pivotal part of the back line. Lima picks it up. Yanes can keep it in. Pressure from the battery. It's Yanes that picks it up, looking for the negative ball back. Woodbine's forced with the touch. And the referee
is given offside. Yeah.
Just very dangerous, that negative ball back. Forced Woodbine to take a risky touch.
Yeah, I think, to be fair to him, I actually think he saw it was offside and he didn't really lean into it the way he would have done had he needed to. But again, you know, it just shows you it's good play, isn't it, by New York Red Bulls too. Good interaction and good technical play around the box. You know, they're definitely a team that can create and score goals. There's no doubt about it. But I think the Battery all season have actually been one of them teams that you've had to work hard to score your goals against them. They went for a stage where they weren't letting goals in open play. So here's Rietmeyer.
Rietmeyer into the box. Atula Guerra just a step behind. Loro very quick off his line. Who's one player for this Red Bull side that has a lot of playoff experience, along with Tanari. Goes all the way through. That'll be a Battery throw-in. Talking about how defensively sound the Charleston Battery have been. 15 clean sheets on the season so far. Second in the USL East with clean sheets. Only conceded 34 goals so far to end the season up to this point. Kelly leads it in to Gordon Wild. Atula Guerra on the run. He's got Rietmeyer out wide. A good ball just escapes Rietmeyer, who can't keep it in.
I think Nico Rietmeyer just needs to run wide there. He was running a little bit too straight. He was well in field. I think it was the right pass by Wild. He just needed to just take a little bit off it.
Good aerial win from the Canadian international Skylar Thomas. The referee, we're going to see our first card of the match. That one for Jay Bolt. And what did you see there, Derek?
Now, the referee there, I think the referee's gone more with the intent. I think because he's fully committed to that tackle. I think he's won the ball, there's no doubt. But I think it's the fact that he's gone in with both feet that the referee's given him the card. And I think, as I said, I think that's more for intent than for the actual tackle itself. But the referee's got to remember, this is a playoff game where people want to put their bodies on the line for their team. And as I said, you can see he's fully committed to going in, but I think it's probably just his trailing leg, that's why he's given it. But now the trouble with the referee in this stage of the game now is every tackle like that now he's got to be consistent, and that's something that, you know, no one wants to see people thrown out of games or anything like that. But as I said, now he's got, you know, certainly now Jay Bolt's on his toes. He's got to make sure he plays with his head now and doesn't do anything silly. Sometimes I think their referees could just have a little talking to him, calm down, you know, so understand what the season's about, and maybe hold his card in his pocket just a little bit longer.
And out the back, Red Bulls opt for around the defensive line. Woodbine stands in the way. Rietmeyer leads Taylor Mueller into a bit of danger, who can get it across to Jay Bolt. Bolt back for Hackshaw, the Trinidad and Tobago international. Another one that's had a fantastic season. Looks for Wild. Good touch to Anunga. The attack is building for the Battery. Bolt's there to pick up the second ball. Keeps it in. Bolt into Wild. Dances around the top of the box. Into the back post by Bolt, but nobody there.
Yeah, Nico Rietmeyer's come in too early there. You know, it's great play. And when you, for the young players watching out there, you know, when the ball's on one side and you're the wide player on the other side, you've got to make sure you take care of that back post. And I think Nico just came in a little bit too early there. It was a great ball in by Jay Bolt. And I think if Nico would have just read that a little bit better, we could have had our first goal on the game too.
Evan Loro to get us back underway in the 18th minute. He has 3 clean sheets on the season. A team that scores a lot of goals but also concedes them. Just a bit of pushing and shoving maybe going on here. This is something that we saw last time these two teams met at MUSC Health Stadium. Emotions just get to running a bit high, especially today with these circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, the last game finished, didn't it? It was all over the place. You know, I think, you know, I think it was that game where no one even knew what was going on. So there's people like, you know, getting involved now, and, you know, sometimes players make more of it than whatever. I mean, you know, Brian Woodbine should know better. He's an experienced player. So we just want to make sure that things are kept in check. But, you know, again, this is a playoff game. It's winner goes on, loser goes home. This is their job. This is their work. So you want a bit of passion out there for the game. And as I said, the way the last game finished, it's important, very important, that the referee keeps his card in his pocket, talks to the captains, organises the game so that we can all end with 11 players on the field for both teams.
Red Bulls too typically haven't been very good on the road so far this season. Only won 2 matches on the road, one of them being, of course, against the Charleston Battery. The Battery, on the other hand, very sound on home turf, having only lost 2 matches. And it really can play a big advantage being on home soil for the playoffs.
I think we spoke about it for weeks leading up to it. You know, you want to secure that home berth, and you know, it shouldn't really matter who you play because you've played most of these teams anyway. But having a home berth, yeah, you've got your crowd behind you. You know, your travels, you can control your travel. Everything's there to control your training week. So yeah, home advantage is crucial. And, you know, playing in front of your own fans is even better. The 12th man. And
down the flank, bounces to the top of the box. Mueller's there to win the aerial. Out of the back from Anunga. This time it will fall for Bolt. Bolt opens up his legs. Moreno on his back. Tag team with Tanari. Good combination from the youngsters. Whipped across the box. Tom Barlow's there. Takes a touch. Looking to set himself up for the strike. Is there? And it's in. Tom Barlow, the danger man we mentioned, Derek, opens the scoring at MUSC Health Stadium. And Red Bulls are 1-up.
Yeah, that's a great finish. You have to say it's a great finish, but, you know, it was J Bolt broke out. You know, we probably won't see that far back. It broke down, and it was a great switch of play, but he's got one-on-one. Probably had a bit too much room. Brian probably needs to get a bit closer. But it's a very, very good finish, isn't it? You know, he's picked his spot, bent it into the far corner, and yeah, now it's game on. Game on, and, you know, now we've got to see if the ghosts of season past can be exercised now, you know. Can the Battery come from behind? Can they get back into this game early? Can they use their experience?
Tom Barlow with his 9th goal of the season. Here he is on the ball again for the Red Bulls, generating the attack. Aguinaga battling with Angelo Kelly. And that's another thing about the Red Bulls that we've seen in the past, just relentless and maybe don't sit back with the lead. They carry on going and carry on attacking. So can the Battery find a response?
Yeah, no, I mean, they only know one way to play, don't they? Remember, you know, in the back of these players' minds, they're looking to play in the MLS team. You know, they're everything they can to do that. And now the referee, you know, the referee now needs to get control of the game. And the players now need to just calm down the play. The Battery players, they need to just keep their heads and play themselves back in. But going back to what I was saying is, yeah, these young players, they only know one way to play. That's why the Battery have to keep to their game style. Keep getting them forward, try and play in behind. Here's the free kick. It's a clear free kick. Gordon Wild, you know, used his body well, but it's, you know, it's not as bad as it looks. It's a foul. Yes, it's a foul. Let's move on with it.
Neville Hackshaw. Back to Anunga, the Battery putting numbers into the attack. Thomas with the long ball out the back, looking for Woodbine. Rittmeyer trying to head it on. Lima. Mueller can shepherd it home to Joe Kuzminski, who returns out the back. Fans, the USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates and highlights from around the league 24/7. Visit @USL on Twitter. Moreno takes a touch inside. Traffic from the Battery. Good step from Neville Hackshaw. Here comes the Atlanta United loanee, Gordon Wild. He just couldn't quite get his feet around it.
Yeah, it's been a good response, though, isn't it, from the Battery. You can see, you know, all of a sudden Hackshaw now starting to maraud forward, which is really what he's good at. And as I said, now they've got to really pick up the game and take it to this young team and see if they can get in their heads, get in their faces, and really see if we can put some pressure on.
And time is on the Charleston Battery side. You often say, Derek, 1-0 is the most dangerous lead to have.
Yeah, this early in the game, there's plenty to go.
Moreno, one-on-one with Bolt to the top of the box. Well worked by Gordon Wild. Rittmeyer trying to find the space. Here comes the rookie, Jay Bolt, Jacksonville, Florida. Another one that cemented his spot for Mike Anhauser's side.
To be fair to New York Red Bulls too, they're doing a great job of pressurising the ball. Wherever the ball is, they're getting players nice and tight. And I think what I'd like to see the Battery do now is going a little bit longer, back to front, try and see if they can spin them in behind. Let's see if Hackshaw can do it there. Here we go. So try and get people in behind them and see if we can put them under a little bit of pressure.
A big matchup tonight between Atula Guerra and Endam. Both 6'3" and 6'4". A good pairing in the attack. Atula Guerra just having a word with the referee, telling him Endam is all over him in the aerial ball. Bolt in for Rittmeyer. Moreno, Red Bull safety in numbers. Tanari in the midfield, lead Stroud on. Tom Barlow in a foot race with Mueller, and this time it's Kuzminski forced off his line with the clearance.
It's a good starting position by Joe Kuzminski there, and he sweep the keeper. Again, I love it when you see good play from goalies that you can refer to young players, and his starting position there was fantastic, very high, very positive, and took the decision away from Taylor Mueller.
In his second season with the Charleston Battery, didn't get a look in last season and started the majority of games this year for Mike Anhauser. It's Guerra at the top of the box. Paulitz steps in the way, but that is where Atula Guerra is most dangerous, at the top of the box.
Yeah, nothing better for the Battery fans than seeing Atula Guerra on the edge of the box on his right foot. Good closing down though by the defenders.
Skylar Thomas gets a cheer for that run. Can't find anything at the end of it. And the Red Bulls will get us back underway.
If you look now, you know, Nico Rittmeyer's come over here to the left-hand side. Gordon Wild's gone over there, so they're looking now to see, you can see, you know, cut in, maybe have a shot, whipping balls in a little bit more. So they're trying little things just to try and get themselves back in the game, which is good to see.
Free kick for the black and yellow. Skylar Thomas will get us back underway. 6'5", the Canadian international in his second season with the Battery. 1 goal on the season so far, a header inside the box. And here we're going to see a set piece, just as I'm sure you're about to say, Derek, in a very nice spot for Gordon Wild. Yeah,
for this left footer, and that's the one thing we've got here. You know, Gordon Wild's got a superb left foot. It's on the edge of the box. It's a great position for a left footer, isn't it? Right on the edge of the box. And as I said, you know, I was lucky enough to watch a little bit of training this week, and I saw him hitting some great ones in, and no one will be taking the ball off him here now. If he finds his range, it's going to be a tough one for the goalkeeper. And whipping it in this way now, if a defender gets anything on it, if one of the strikers gets anything on it, you know, that's always a good sign. So here we go.
Red Bulls too, not taking any chances, pulling every single player back behind the ball into the box. Well, if you haven't seen Gordon Wild's goal against Ottawa Fury last weekend, nominated for USL Goal of the Week, it was an absolute cracker from 25 yards out. We know he's got the range. The only man standing over the ball. And here we go. The referee gives him the green light. It's Gordon Wild into the box, looking for the back post. Skylar Thomas was knocking at the door.
Yeah, it's a great ball in. I think if Skylar goes with his head there, he might have more of a chance. He was very fully stretched, but it's a great delivery. And as I said, sometimes you need one as a tester and then one to get you in. But fantastic delivery, great chance, and that will certainly keep New York Red Bulls too on their toes. You know, they don't want to be conceding free kicks in and around the box with his quality, Gordon Wild.
Well, keep your eye tonight on all three of the back line for Mike Anhauser, getting into the attack, putting some height in the box. And they've all found success there so far this season. A good ball from Mueller out the back. Here comes Atula Guerra, the crowd's on its feet. And Endam manages to throw himself in the path of the ball.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get a free kick there, wasn't he? I mean, he did get there first. He just about got in front. He was fully stretched. And this set piece is another example where Gordon Wild can fizz one into the box and get some of these big guys on the end of it. So a real good chance again for the Battery.
The Battery have got a spring in their step. The fans are up and behind them. Gordon Wild with the in-swinger. Here comes the delivery. Who's in the box? Just over the bar. But again, another solid delivery by Gordon Wild.
Yeah, and this is a good positive sign. Since the goal, the Battery have got their foothold in the game, and they're back in it, which they needed to be. And here is a great delivery. I think Anunga he was really on a standing jump. If he could have maybe got a little bit of a run on that, he might have had a better chance. And that's the problem. Sometimes you get in there too early, and you're just basically trying to direct the ball in. You need a little bit of a run on it.
And the height in the box, very difficult to beat him, the centre back. Here comes another free kick for the home side. Taken quickly, it's Hackshaw. Mueller looking for the direct ball, this time for Woodbine. Can they find the second ball? Does enough to win the throw. Again, looking to take it quickly, but he's going to leave it for the Jamaican veteran who has the long throw there. We've seen it. Has Nico Rittmeyer caught them off? He finds its way into the box, but nobody's there.
I think Guerra just thought it was too far in advance for him, but you have to make those runs. I mean, you never know what could happen.
Hackshaw ensures that one runs out.
It's been a very good response, isn't it, by the Battery? You know, they've, as I said, going a goal down. They haven't sort of felt sorry for themselves. They've said, OK, and they haven't really changed their game style. They're still trying to get it forward early and trying to put this team under pressure. They've had a lot of set pieces, a lot of throw-ins, a lot of territorial advantage, which is good to see.
Head coach John Warniak up off his bench below, giving his team a bit of guidance. The only coach that the Red Bulls too has had spent his career playing for New York. Here comes Angelo Kelly, finds Woodbine in space. Woodbine with the delivery. Gordon Wild's there, just wide off the target.
And I think if it was Gordon Wild on it, he should score. I thought it might have just took a little deflection there, but an absolutely fantastic ball in by Woodbine, wasn't it? And then Gordon Wild does everything he can to get on the end of it with his left foot. Let's see if it was actually him that got the last touch. It was. OK, but the defender's done enough really there to just to put him off. But again, another good, positive attack from the home team.
And you've got to say the Battery are knocking at the door. After a bright start from the Red Bulls, it's been all the home side in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's how they've approached the game. They started going back to front a little bit quicker. You know, they're starting to compete in there. And as I said, if they can keep this going, you'd like to think that they'll get a chance that will get on target and can bring them really back into this game.
And out the back, unorthodox from Woodbine. Moreno and Bolt battling it out. Brian Anunga, the man in the middle. And for the Charleston Battery, you've got to say he really is the one that dictates the tempo of play. Out wide to Bolt, who drops into the box and is there. Loose touch from Moreno, picks up the second.
The danger is in this game now is that if they don't score a goal, and the longer it goes on, and then that second one comes, then you start to think it could not be your night. So I think it's important if the Battery, are going to get a goal, they get one this side of half time so they can go in level terms. Because as I said, sometimes when you have so many chances and you don't score, it starts to get into your head. So hopefully there's something very soon on the board for the Battery if they can get going.
And again comes out on top. He's had a fantastic night so far. You've got to say the centre back for Red Bulls too. But back to your point, Derek. This half is flying by. 33 minutes in already here in Charleston, South Carolina.
A bit casual there from Guerra. I think he needs to get that down, secure it, and bring others into the game. But no, what I was saying is, maybe half time's a bit short. What I'm saying is you want to, when you're on top, you want to see if you can capitalise, get your goal, and pull yourself back into the game. The longer it goes on, it starts to get into your brain a little bit that you might not be able to it might not be your night or whatever.
Red Bulls too, you can see now under no rush to get the ball back underway. We'll have another look at this presented by Baker Roofing.
Yeah, it's a foul. I mean, it is a foul. I mean, I know some of the fans underneath here now are sort of complaining, but it is a foul. If that happens in the box, it's a penalty. If it happens outside the box, it's a free kick. If it happens in the halfway line, it's a free kick. So.
Tanari denied in the middle of the park. Cutler steps in for backup. Tom Barlow leads one through to Stroud. Can Stroud find a one-on-one opportunity? Great save by Kuzminski, who just threw his body in front of that.
Yeah, he done well. He delayed his run. He could have come flying out there, but he saw the player take the second touch, and then he come out. And great tracking as well by Skylar Thomas here. Watch this. Skylar Thomas, he's behind the ball, but he puts enough pressure on just to make it easier for Joe Kuzminski. But a great save, and now another set piece. And, you know, we know that goals can come from set pieces.
It's going to be an outswinger this time from Chris Lima with that left foot. Again, the Battery have everybody back inside the box to the PK spot, just wide of the target. Did that take a deflection? Yes, it did. But safety first from Gordon Wild on the post.
I think he needs to understand where he is there. He could have quite easily let that go. I think he just got a bit disorientated and just put his foot on it. But
Lima with 5 assists on the season so far. Had the option to go short. Looks like he's going to go into the box, exact same place. This time Thomas comes out on top. Cutler with the recycle. Tanari now, looking to lead Jared Stroud in the box. A good step from Anunga. Tarbrian Anunga, just cut off in the path for Wild. Aguinaga leads the top of the box. Thomas does enough to get it off his foot. This time this could be a chance. Mueller was beaten to the ball. It's off the woodwork, and Kuzminski collects the second ball. Well, the Battery playing with fire there, Derek.
Yeah, and Joe Kuzminski's just thrown it away again. As I said, they've ridden their luck there, but Taylor Mueller just needed to be a little bit more assertive. He wasn't, but this is a great break by Angelo Kelly.
Good work by Angelo Kelly. The referee hasn't given that. Atula Guerra still fighting. Lima in the middle. We've got to say, from our point of view, Derek, that looked like a foul on Angelo Kelly. He did everything possible and was into space.
Yeah, I just think he did put a little bit of a dive on the end of it, and that's what the referee, I think, eventually saw. So, you know, it's always easier from up here, they say, don't they? But, you know, Angelo Kelly didn't really go mad at the referee there, did he? So maybe he was trying to get one for his team. He might have held on to it too long. The Battery have just given away a few little sloppy passes at times in their own third, which is so unusual. And just given, you know, New York Red Bull 2 just a little sniffer goal higher up the field. I think they've been at their best when they've gone from back to front and made the Red Bull 2 team like really drop off and playing behind.
Lima ground ball through. Mueller collects.
And there's an example there. Look, just get it forward, put them under pressure. Right, pick up the second balls and then attack from the other side.
Atula Guerra knocking on the door. This time Wild. Endam comes out on top.
That's good play.
Bolt takes a positive touch into space. One-on-one with Cutler to the top of the box. Atula Guerra's there. Looks to lead Bolt back. And Guerra again. Tanari comes to safety. Angelo Kelly picks the feet of Moreno.
I'm a great believer that when teams do put you under pressure, you know, like the way the New York Red Bull team is trying to do to the Battery, I think what they need to do is they just need to get it. But here's a great breakaway now.
This could be a chance for the Battery. O'Brien Woodbine looking for the negative ball back. He whips it into the box. Rittmeyer with the second ball. Didn't know Lima was on his heels. Stroud into Tanari. New York got away with one there. I've got to say, O'Brien Woodbine just trying to knock a dangerous ball into the mix.
Yeah, I think he should have picked out somebody. He didn't really pick him out. He just put it into an area. There's
Tom
a chance.
Barlow, well collected by Joe Kuzminski, quick off his line.
Barlow does find that little space in behind players, doesn't he? He makes great little diagonal runs. You know, he's not offside. He really makes, he times his runs well, and they're intelligent runs in behind players, across players. And yeah, he's someone who's definitely going to have to, I mean, he's got a great goal from outside the box, but he looks good. He's inside the box as well.
He scored in the last playoff match last year against Charleston. Came in as a sub, has scored the 4th and final goal for the visitors. Tulaguerra putting some pressure on Loro, who gets us back underway in the 39th minute. Long ball out the back. Thomas for Bolt. Jay Bolt opening up now. He's got Guerra with him. Red Bulls rushing back. Bolt to the top of the box. Wild is there. Just put wide by Loro. What a save that was. Gordon Wild, fantastic strike.
Yeah, and he normally he's not as strong on his right foot, but he does fantastic well. He turns inside, swivels and hits. And Jay Bolt's done great getting down line. But here we go, look, he just rolls his defender, hits it, and that's going in the corner. That's a fantastic save.
Well, he did well to set himself up there, and now he's going to try and set someone else up. Gordon Wild with the outswinger from this near side. The Battery have put the height in the box. Guerra and Endarm one-on-one. Here comes the delivery. Run straight through. Kelly tries to get a touch on it. Kelly with the re-delivery. The appeal for handball is there. Woodbine can't keep Moreno in check. Tom Barlow, of course, making his way into the attack. The Battery have got numbers back behind the ball. Barlow's held up. Aguinaga with the ball through. Kuzminski there, cool and collected as you like.
A strange passage of play there, wasn't it? It was started off with the corner from the Battery, and they've always been vulnerable to breaks, fast breaks. And then Joe Kuzminski, for the second time, I think he's just wasted it. His team just need him to hold on, get settled. You know, they're in a good position now. They've had some chances, but he's just thrown one away there again. They just need to be a little bit more composed, and when they get the ball, be patient. They've created some really good chances.
Rebels too forced all the way home, looking to keep a bit of possession. Both teams like to hit on the counter-attack. Stroud in a foot race with Skylar Thomas into the middle. Tanari invites Cutler into the attack, returns to sender. Lemma.
This is good patient build-up, isn't it? They're just finding little gaps in behind there.
Aguinaga to the top of the box. Wild gets enough touch on it, but can't get away out of the back. Ethan Cutler.
Just think sometimes Gordon Wild, when he's in his own final third, he just has to be a little bit more reliable, get hold of the ball instead of trying to always beat someone.
Barlow. The Battery have safety in numbers, but it's Moreno that's crept through. He is offside though. Armando Moreno, keep your eye on him tonight. Sneaking in behind the back line on that flank.
Yeah, but I think it's Barlow, and he's their main man right now. Then we talked about him finding little pockets. He also gets hold of the ball and he makes little intelligent passes. He's a young man. I think he's got a big career in the game if he keeps doing what he's doing. He come on as a sub. He shows he can do that. He's come on. He's been, certainly the main goal scorer tonight. He's also a very good link player. So yeah, he's got a bright future.
And picked up every aerial ball thrown his way tonight. That was a loose one. It looked like it almost fell for Tulaguerra, who was offside.
I think it was Nico Rittmeyer's gift for offside. They're coming back from the ball, but as I said, that the Battery do a very good job of playing high and stand on the high man. Every now and again you do get caught.
Tonight the Red Bulls are missing Anatole Abong, who was out due to suspension. And Tom Barlow relishing the starting opportunity up top tonight. And returns from Bolt. Here's a Tulaguerra in the midfield. Tarbran Anunga just losing his footing there.
And that's unusual for him, and he's normally so reliable. As I said, I think that was it. With a little bit of rain that we had earlier, it was a rain for a good 20 minutes, and as I said, the field plays absolutely magnificent here at MUFC Hill Stadium. But with that rain, that surface becomes a little bit sticky and can catch some of these players out.
Tarbran Anunga absolutely been the MVP for the Battery this season. Leads the team in tackles and interceptions. Hackshaw searching for him up top. He joins the attack. Has he got options with him? Gordon Wild comes. Anunga comes out on top. The delivery into the box is there. Just overcooks it. Nico Rittmeyer sitting in.
Yeah, again, I think he's in too early, and then, you know, it even shows, it's even highlighted even further because O'Brien is not in with him. You know, we've won it. You know, he's got it twice now. We've put good balls into the box and balls into the far post, and you know, we've got in too early and had no one coming around the back.
Well, we're under a minute of regulation left to play here at MUSC Health Stadium. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Here's Atula Guerra. Can he find the loose ball? Great body strength from the Trinidad and Tobagan into the box. Rittmeyer's there. Can't quite get a strike away, but does enough to keep it in bounds. Atula Guerra with the strike, looking for the near post and wide of the target, but that's brought the crowd up, Derek.
Yeah, no, as I said, and that really was Guerra just using all his strength to get in, and again, Nico Rittmeyer shows his determination to keep the game alive and put crosses in the box. I think if Guerra could have that one back, he'd want to go for the far post. But as I said, you know, this first half has absolutely flown by, and I think we're looking at 2 minutes of stoppage time when that board comes up. There we go. And for me now, you know, the Battery have done everything you've asked other than score the goal. They've got hold of the game again. They've had one little scare that went to the back post, but apart from that, they've come back into the game, and all's positive for the second half. If they can raise it again and just get a little bit of luck, they can easily get back into this game and make a real game of it.
Bolt, did he keep it in bounds? Just out. Well, Derek, you've kind of just summed it up, but if you are Mike Anhauser, what has to be the one change to get on the score sheet?
Yeah, a bit of quality in the final third. That's all it is. You know, there's going to be some gamesmanship in this second half. You know, these young players, you know, we say they're young, but they're experienced. They've been in this situation before. They're going to try and waste some time. Just a little bit more composure in the final third, and this could even be it now.
What a step from Nico Rittmeyer. He's got Atula Guerra with him. Gordon Wild steaming into the attack. He goes wide to Wild. Wild just wide of the target. Gordon Wild set himself up brilliantly, just couldn't find the back of the net.
And there, if we get to see this again, look at the unselfish running here by Guerra, where he runs wide, and he knows it's a 3v2 break. He takes the defenders away nice and wide. Nico Rittmeyer had two options. He took the right one, didn't he? And Gordon Wild will be very disappointed with that finish. He'd love to have that one back again. I think he's tried to side foot it rather than just smash it.
Gordon Wild did superbly to get himself into that position. Like you said, Derek, he'll want that one back, especially on the stroke of half-time. Just under 30 seconds left of extra time left to play here. You see Red Bulls too just taking their time, and they want to get to the locker room with the 1-0 lead. Is there time for more goals? Moreno on Mueller's heels. Stroud. Barlow in the attack. And that is going to be all we see from the first half here at MUSC Health Stadium. And the Red Bulls find themselves heading into the locker room 1-0 up at the half, Derek.
Yeah, no, it's been a great game, wasn't it? You know, the New York Red Bulls 2 team came out the box flying. They got their goal. But since then, you have to say the Battery have done a great response. They've come back into it, created some great chances. Had some, you know, finishing up with Gordon Wild's one there where he could have just gotten back on level terms at half-time. But what it means is it looks like we're going to have a great second half. This game's far from over. Both teams are trying to win it, and they know the prize at the end of it. So I'm really looking forward to the second half.
Well, it's been all action here in the first half. Join us at half-time where we'll be talking about the USL, the new league rebranding, and what's to come for the Charleston Battery. Stay with us. We'll take a look at highlights when we come back. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's halftime here between the Charleston Battery and New York Red Bulls 2. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. But while we have a second, let's turn our attention away from this match because the USL has some exciting news. Commencing next season, they're taking more of a European-style approach to the rebranding.
Yeah, I think it's a great move by the USL now. You know, they're going to have a championship division, a League One and League Two, and that's going to make it much, much easier for the sort of common spectator of soccer to view the games and understand who's playing in which division, who's playing in which league, and eventually, hopefully, there'll be a promotion and relegation that can really push this forward.
And the USL Championship will be home to the Charleston next season. Keep your eyes peeled on all USL social media channels. They will be announcing its 9th team for the inaugural season late next week, so we look forward to that. And turning our attention back towards MUSC Health Stadium because we have a food truck festival coming up.
Yeah, that's another great event that the Battery does here, doesn't it? You know, they get lots of different food trucks in, foods from around the world, and if you're a food connoisseur, this is one event you don't want to miss.
It sounds like it's going to be a fantastic time. So many food trucks coming. So if you like food, then head our way. We'll also be showing some NFL on the Jumbotron and also could potentially have another USL playoff match. So stay tuned and head to charlestonbattery.com or the social media channels for any more information on those. And looking ahead towards next season, very exciting. You can get your season tickets right now, and there you can see what the season ticket packages include. And the big one to start us off is Carolina Challenge Cup.
Yeah, that's a great event. It's been around for many years. You know, MLS teams come to town. You know, some big stars, players that have played in the World Cup, that have played, you know, hundreds of games in the MLS League. So that's an unbelievable event. And, you know, hopefully we're running a youth tournament alongside that as well now. So that'll bring even more people in. To great time to come and see some great soccer here in Charleston.
It was an absolutely fantastic event last season, and I'm sure it's going to be bigger and better than ever this season. So keep your eyes again. Stay tuned to all the social media channels for the teams that will be coming to MUSC. And again, get your season tickets now where you can get all these packages included. Well, we're going to take a quick break now, but when we back, we'll have second half action from MUSC Health Stadium. It's the Charleston Battery hosting Red Bulls 2. We'll be back in a mo.
We're ready. After 34 games, after victories and defeats, we're ready to show our colors, to pound the drum, to ignite the fire. We're ready to make waves, to make a statement, to make history. We're ready to answer the bell, to fulfill our destiny, to defend our crown. It's time, and we are ready.
The USL regular season has concluded and the playoff bracket is set. The Charleston Battery concluded their final match against Ottawa Fury with a 2-0 win and now turn their attention to hosting New York Red Bulls 2 right here at MUSC Health Stadium for the second consecutive year. For the Charleston Battery, I'm Poppy Miller. Let's take a look around the league presented by Home Telecom. Charleston Battery striker Gordon Wild was nominated for USL Goal of the Week after his phenomenal 25-yard left foot volley that swerved into the top left-hand corner against Ottawa Fury to open the scoring. It was his 7th goal of the season for the Black and Yellow. The USL regular season champions FC Cincinnati battled it out with Nashville SC in the Music City on Saturday night. Despite Tucker Hume opening the scoring for the home side in the 5th minute and leading his team into the locker room 1-0 up at the half, it was 3-2 to Cincinnati in the 80th minute until Akinyode managed to pull back the equaliser in the 90th and secure his side an 8th place finish. The two teams will meet again this Saturday in the first round of playoffs, this time at Nippert Stadium. And they aren't the only two teams that played last weekend and will meet again in the first round of playoffs. Reigning USL champions Louisville City FC finished their season strong with a 1-0 win over Indy 11. Of course, it had to be Cameron Lancaster the difference from the PK spot as he tallied his 25th goal of the season, setting a new record in the book. Well, it's crunch time as we head into this weekend. The playoff bracket has been set and ready to go. For the Charleston Battery, I'm Poppy Miller.
Yeah, the Charleston Battery Youth Soccer Club is now up and running. All of our venues are operating great and training programs are running well. Most people won't know that we actually started an in-house coach education program. So the whole club is following the same technical program and it's really focused on individual player development. We had a big parents meeting the other day where we really laid out our player profiling system. It really identifies all the skills needed to play a certain position across the 4 dimensions of development: the technical and tactical, the social, the psychological, and then the physical side. We've been really working hard on our skills fit play sessions, and that's been very important. And overall, you know, what we're looking at is our players getting better, and I think the early signs are that they are. The program's working, the coaches are buying into it, and each venue there's a level of consistency across the whole youth program. In youth programs, you know, I don't necessarily think winning is the ultimate thing, but we've had some very good successful things on the field. We've had several teams go to tournaments, and in particular we've had a few good results. Our 05 boys won a very good tournament in Gatlinburg. Our under 18 boys, the 2001 boys, won the Orlando City tournament, and so did our 04 yellow team. And then our 07 girls team won a tournament. So, you know, we're getting some success as a team, but the big thing for me is to make sure we're getting the success as individuals. And as I said, going around all the teams as the director, I get to see all the teams, and there's a lot of good players. One of the things I look for every time I go onto the field to watch a game is, you know, which team's got the best player. Who's got the best player, and it's starting to see in a lot of the games that we're seeing that the battery's got the best player on the field, and then it's like who's got the second best player or the third, and if we're doing that on a regular basis, that's a good thing for us.
Welcome back to Charleston, South Carolina for tonight's USL playoff match. The Charleston Battery hosting New York Red Bulls 2. Well, the Battery are out and ready to go. But while we have a second, let's take a look at some first half highlights because, Derek, both teams had plenty of chances.
Yeah, here's the goal. Here's the big, the big moment of the first half. Great finish, cut inside, did Tom Barlow and put it in, and we highlighted him in earlier on in the broadcast and prior to the game, and it really is a clinical finish. I'm sure there's things that the Battery could have done better, but you have to say it's a great strike, and Joe Kuzminski's really got no chance. But the Battery had their chances. Here's one of them with Gordon Wild with a free kick, which Skylar Thomas nearly gets on the end of it, and Wild was also very instrumental in another chance just before half-time. This is the one where it's cut back to him and he just swivels, turns and hits with his right foot. Great save there by the keeper. And then probably the chance of the half is the one where he breaks through just before half-time and gets in and tries to side-foot it past. But, there'll be plenty of positives for Mike Anhauser and his team now. They did create many chances. I'm sure he'll just want that little bit of quality in the final third. And they've got the players to do it. Guerra's a clinical finisher. Gordon Wild, he'll want to put that right. And certainly Nico Rittmeyer, he can get into chances. He's going to have a chance to score as well. So plenty of positives for the second half.
All three of them have been knocking at the door. The Battery just rallying around each other as Red Bulls make their way onto the field. Barlow leads them out, the goal scorer, the difference in this match so far. And like you were saying at half-time, Derek, a goal could really decide the game. The next goal could decide this game. Yeah,
I think it's vital. You'd have to say that if New York were to get the goal and get 2 up, it's a big mountain to climb. The Battery getting it, then momentum shifts, then we really see what this young side's all about in terms of temperament. So I think that the next goal is crucial to the game. I'm sure all these home fans will want it to come to the Battery and then they can build off of that. As I said, if the Red Bulls do get another one, then it's going to be a real uphill battle. And as I said, the Red Bull team, they've come here, they've come to play. They only know one way to play. We spoke about that in the first half. They want to come here, they want to take the game to the home team. And I think, we'll watch this game all the way to the 90th minute because, if it's very close right to the end, the way they do attack, they're going to leave gaps and the Battery will get chances.
Well, we are just about ready to go at kick-off for the second half. It's the Red Bulls who lead the Battery 1-0, but still 45 minutes left in this match to decide the winner. Earlier, we saw Nashville and FC Cincinnati. Their playoff match was decided on PKs and it went to sudden death, Derek. An absolute phenomenal performance from both sides.
Yeah, that's a horrible way to go out, isn't it? It's a lottery when it gets to that stage, Normally when there's a goal in extra time and then a second goal in extra time, normally the team that scores second has the momentum. But, to show the quality of the league, every penalty, all 11 penalties were scored, which is really unusual. And it was only one miss, and Davis, I think, missed it. And he's been a captain, he's been their stalwart of their team, and that always seems to be the way. But not the best way to lose, but it is the only way to decide a soccer game, I think, if we get to that point.
Here's Barlow now one-on-one with Mueller. Mueller for Hackshaw, who nods at home safely to Kuzminski, who gets his first touches on the ball in the second half.
And I'm sure Mike Anhauser would have spoken to the back three about letting Barlow run in behind there, the way you saw Taylor Mueller a lot tighter, using his body well to get in front. That's a feature of them. So I'm sure that'll be something that he'll be looking for definitely in the second half.
Moreno also creeping around. Keep your eye on him tonight, out wide as well. But if you are John Wolniak, what do you think the message to the Red Bulls 2 was at the half?
Yeah, well done. Great. You're going to be under pressure. They know they're going to be under pressure. Can we sustain it? And, keep it going. As I said, I think they only know how to play one way. So it'll be keep going, stay disciplined where you can. And, keep as much possession as you can. Keep them out of it as often as you can.
Red Bulls 2 led the regular season in the Eastern Conference with shots taken, but you've got to say both teams have had fantastic chances. We saw the highlights of the first half, and the Battery are on the front foot. Hackshaw around the back. Mueller opts for the long ball forward, looking for Woodbine, just overcooked it. But we've seen Mueller very direct in his play tonight. Yeah,
and I think that's how they have to play. I think that's, when they're put under pressure, you don't want to overplay, put it in behind teams. They've got a front three that works their socks off to do this. So, yeah, you know, do what works.
No changes as of yet for either side, but of course, we'll keep you up to date with our eyes on the benches when we see any changes. Moreno one-on-one with Hackshaw, who comes out on top.
And Hackshaw's a very experienced player, and he knows how to get his body in front, and he's quick, you know, he's athletic, and he does well. So
the Trinidad and Tobago international likes to join in the attack as well. 2 assists and 1 goal on the season so far. Keep your eye on him getting down the flank and switching with Jay Bolt when he gets that opportunity to do so. Hackshaw with the long ball for Garrett, who can't create anything from it. Tanari in the middle. Out wide to Cutler. Aguinaga leads Moreno on, looking for the return ball. He's in the box. Brian Anunga just forcing him back out. And good defending from the Cameroonian.
yeah, and that again, you know, he's done that time and time again. He's a big, strong boy. He doesn't mind the 1v1 confrontations, and normally comes out winning them. That's why, you know, he's all over the place. Here he's like he just uses his strength. He leans in, and he draws that foul. Just because that come all back from strength and attitude.
Brian Anunga been all over the pitch tonight, as has captain Andrew Tanari. Neville Hackshaw steps in the path, brings it out the back. Here comes Woodbine.
And there's an example. I think he's got to go in behind there. He's trying to plate the feet. I think he needs to go right in behind and take him on.
Well, we know Woodbine has got an extremely long throw. You can see him looking to tell his players to get into a space where he can exploit it. For Wild, who can't find the feet of Angelo Kelly.
That ball was played into where Wild just came out of, you know, as I said. I think we're going to get a throw deep in the half now. And as I said, this first 10 minutes is going to be crucial for both teams. You know, again, you know, the game will take shape. We know there's going to be chances in this game. You know, the way both teams play, you've only got to look at the score lines from the last couple of games. There's going to be chances, and it's just whether the quality and which team can take those chances that's going to come out on top tonight.
Hackshaw for Guerra. End arm, you've got to say, in the first half didn't give Guerra much, especially in the air. Here comes the attack from the Red Bulls. Moreno takes a deflection, but Kuzminski again composed off his line, plays it out quickly to Woodbine. What a piece of trickery from the Jamaican. Leads Anunga to the Sharks a bit there. The Battery keep the possession. Neville Hackshaw with time and space on the far side. Ground ball up to Gordon Wild.
Wild was looking for an earlier pass there when he was looking for a little 1-2. He never quite got it, and he shows his frustration a little bit there.
Tanari through the middle, Barlow on his bike.
He's trying to find that little gap again, wasn't he? I mean, he's done that all night. You know, he needs to learn to do that. They need to learn to play him earlier, I should say. It's a great little run. He's a very intelligent runner when he's up there.
Here comes the Red Bulls on the front foot, just leads Moreno too far in front. The Battery bring it out the back with a goal kick. Well, there's movement on the bench of the Red Bulls. No movement from the Charleston Battery and Mike Anhauser as of yet.
No, right now there's not much wrong with the Battery. You know, the games, you know, the second half started off pretty much how the first finished. And, you know, they're certainly on top. Actually, as I said, it's just whether they can create these clear-cut chances. That's what I want to see. If you look at the top of the screen, Jay Bolt just creeping up there because, you know, the ball's on this side. If you actually, he's got acres of space. If we were to pan out now, you'd see him. And now he needs to get in the box and get in there. Here he is on the far stick.
Tula Guerra, look, trying to get the negative. Tanari out the box. You're absolutely right, Derek. You couldn't quite see it at home, but Bolt just in acres of space. And we know how quick and effective the Battery are in transitioning the flanks. Rittmeyer takes it across field. This time it does find Bolt.
And now Woodbine needs to get up and balance it up on the other side. There he is there. Look, here it goes. Look, straight to him. When he gets into great positions, it works really, really well.
Great ball through to Kelly. Good defending out the back from Red Bulls too. Mueller picks it out the air. Good clearance from the captain. Here comes Angelo Kelly. Does enough to earn his team a throw. And up comes Woodbine. Woodbine up short this time. Wild. The pressure is on. A loose touch from Kelly. Can they transition into a counter? Aguinaga for Tenari.
This is where Woodbine's got to get back in now. If you look now, they're starting to get numbers on this side. Gordon Wiles done the tracking now. He's just got to make sure that he stays his discipline here.
Tenari into Lima. He invites Yanes into the attack.
Normal services returned. Wild and O'Brien just swapped back there.
Stroud into the box. Could this be a chance? Return to Shroud. Shroud gets a strike away and it's off the woodwork.
I'm sure Mike Anhauser will be absolutely livid with O'Brien there because he didn't follow his man. It wasn't a really good thing, and Taylor Mueller's certainly having a go there. Okay, because there is a little link-up play. Look, and O'Brien just stops. Look, he doesn't go with his player, and that could have been curtains for the Battery there. So there's a little warning sign there straight away.
The Battery get away with one there. Still 1-0 to the visitors.
And for someone of his experience, O'Brien, Woodbine there, he's got to do so much better there. He knows better than that. He needs to track his player, certainly in and around the box.
And especially in a game of this magnitude. Here comes Jay Bolt. Could this be a chance for the Battery? Into the box. It looked like it would fall through for Wild. And Loro scoops it up. Gets it out quickly to Lima.
Yeah, another good sign, wasn't it? A good play there by the Battery yet again. Got it wide. And when they do get it into wide areas, they're dangerous.
Both teams transitioning into the attack very quickly. The game is really opening up.
So I wonder if one of the changes that could happen for the Battery would maybe like O'Brien Woodbine there for maybe someone like Agashi who could come on and just shore up that midfield a little bit more. Maybe bring Jay Bolt back over this side. I'm sure these are the sort of things that are going through Mike Anhauser's head because Agashi brings a little more attacking dimension. Jay Bolt could shore up this right-hand side because a couple of times now they've got him down this side. So I'm sure these are all things are all going through coach's head right now.
Yanes joining the attack. Red Bulls taking their time, looking for the spaces.
Yeah, I think this young team, they're still looking for another goal, aren't they? Their mindset is, one's not going to be enough. Let's see if we can get another one and really put the pressure on. So.
Woodbine with the lofty clear out the back. Anunga on Tenari's heels. Garrett trying to drop back into the middle to stop that. Good step from the captain. Yanes back for Lima. And we have an injury in the middle of the park. Ethan Cutler down. And this is going to bring up a chance to everybody to regroup, maybe grab a quick drink. It's Ethan Cutler that's down as the referee invites the trainer onto the field.
And I'm looking now at the bench of the Battery, and I'm thinking that we're getting to that point in time now where, we normally say an hour, don't we? But now coaches start to think, right, what do we need to do? And one of the substitutions could be, maybe Elias Swanson coming on as a front three. Nico Rittmeyer drops back into more of a wide midfielder role. He's done that many times, giving another dimension, having the big guy up front. That might release Guerra a little bit because he's having a physical battle, isn't he, with Hussein Endam, yeah. So maybe Swanson can come on and take on that battle, and that will free up Guerra a little bit more. Nico Rittmeyer's definitely done better on this right side, and I think if that was the case, I think Woodbine would be the one currently that might be sacrificed. There's another option to go with, and then you've got Patrick Okonkwo that could just come in as a straight swap for one of them as well. So I'm sure it's getting to that time where people are starting to think about it now, and I'm sure that will be one of the changes that the coach will look at.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Derek, because we're seeing Jared Van Schaik changing just below us for Mike Anhauser. You can see him on your camera screen there, a winger that likes to get into the attack but very defensively sound. He's been out for the last couple of games with a small injury. Back into the mix now for Mike Anhauser to finish the last few weeks of the season strong.
I think that's going to be either a straight swap for Jay Bolt, or that's going to be O'Brien coming out and Jay Bolt coming this side.
Here comes Rittmeyer. Can he get the cross into the box? The delivery's there, and arm away, who has just picked absolutely everything out the air tonight in the box. Anunga. Dancing, trying to keep the possession.
Here's Thomas now.
Out wide to Thomas, who's looking to invite Woodbine into the attack. Just slow to read it. And here comes that substitution. You're absolutely right. It's going to be O'Brien Woodbine to make way for Jared Van Schaik. The Jamaican veteran makes his way off the field quickly. Time is of the essence for the Battery.
Yeah, and I think it's Nico Rittmeyer coming to this right side, and straight. You know, Van Schaik's going to go to the left side. Now, what he does is he brings good delivery. Van Schaik, doesn't he? You know, he's a converted fullback that's now pushed higher up the field. He does have good delivery. You know, the one thing I hope he does is I hope he gets into the final third. Here he is here, look, getting straight into the game. So that's a good start for him.
Makes his 25th appearance tonight. 3 assists this season, getting right into the mix. Right now it's Moreno and Hackshaw in the foot race, looking for Barlow, but Mueller is first to the party and all the way back to Kuzminski.
So now to have this little change round, yep, it's, you know, Van Schaik's definitely gone to the forward position of the left side, and Nico Rittmeyer's come here more. You know, it looks like we're going to try and get him in further wide down this end.
You know, Nico Rittmeyer loves the one-on-one battle. Fantastic speed. Let's see if he can create some opportunities down this right-hand side.
So yeah, it's a little bit earlier than we thought, but as I said, normally that hour mark, you know, coaches start looking at different things to do, and we'll see now if Red Bulls adjust to that. I think they'll let it settle down for a minute and see, and then it becomes a chess game.
Mueller, lofty ball into the attack. Rittmeyer's there. Barlow in the mix. And Anunga forced off the back of the head. He's going to win this free kick.
He done very well there. He screened the body, didn't he? He actually knew he was going to get hit from behind there. He waited for it, and he knew fine well he was getting a free kick there. That's good experience there.
Skylar Thomas in the path of Atula Guerra, who lays it back to Gordon Wild, who loses his footing at the top of the box. And Jared Stroud.
Van Schaik trying to get into the game as early as he can. Now he'll want to make a big impact very early here.
Both teams looking to go direct. This time Atula Guerra might have caught Endam off. Takes a touch back, looking for Bolt. Bolt's got space into Wild, and they couldn't quite get the strike away.
I think there's a bit of miscommunication now. I think there Jay Bolt should have just stayed on the ball a bit more. I think Wild was the pass there, and he really wasn't expecting it.
Van Schaik got a fantastic left foot, just out of bounds, offside, sorry.
Yeah, he just takes a little bit of time to get into this game, and you know, Jared Van Schaik, you know, he's had a great season, hasn't he? He just needs to now come in and make an impact as a substitute. You've got to do that.
Another one of Mike Anhauser's veterans with a wealth of MLS experience with the Battery in their playoff runs in the past. Van Schaik and Taylor Mueller, 2 of the real mainstays on this side. Kelly battling on the far side. Did he do just enough to force an error out the back. The Red Bulls get away with it and look to transition onto the counter. Mueller's there. It's Atula Guerra. Struggles to get it through his feet, but Van Shake now. And will Gordon Wild beat Lauro to the foot race? No, he will not. But again, the battery knocking at the door, Derek.
Yeah, that was good pressure, wasn't it? They pinned New York Red Bulls 2 in, didn't they? And the ball broke there, and the goalkeeper's done really well there just to beat them to that foot race. So that was a good goalkeeping play there. But yeah, good signs for the battery that they're trying to get back into this.
Thomas back to Kuzminski. In the 63rd minute here in Charleston, South Carolina, Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match. Wherever you are, it's Van Shake back for Bolt at the top of the box. New York flooding numbers back behind the ball. Thomas joins in the attack. Here comes Rittmeyer through to Anunga. Anunga with the great ball across the box. Wild with the second ball. And Lauro does enough to keep it safely in his hands.
Yeah, and Gordon Wild again, he does everything right here. He gets it on target. He swivels again. I think he'd like to get a little bit more on it. Great link-up play between those two. And that he just can't turn it in quick enough. Goalkeeper spills it, and he nearly gets in there for that second rebound.
Well, Gordon Wild, 7 goals on the season so far. His confidence sky high coming in off the last match against Ottawa Fury. If you haven't seen it yet, he hit a fantastic volley from 25 yards out with that left foot, unstoppable.
I think tonight he'd take one off his backside, wouldn't he, if he could, just to get it in there, because he's got into some great positions. Just hasn't quite happened to get the finish yet, but, you know, he's getting closer and closer. He hit the target. I mean, that's all you can ask for from players, and, you know, goalies are there to make saves, and that was a very good save. Even though he spilled it, it really was a good save.
Lauro has stood big every time his name has been called so far tonight. And another one that's been phenomenal. Here come the Red Bulls on the attack. Stroud takes a touch inside, can't get past Skylar Thomas. And Anunga to the rescue, gives it away in the middle of the park. Lima recycles. Invites Yones forward. Stroud again. The referee waves play on. Kuzminski to collect.
You can always see when a player's generally hurt there, look, he'll get up, look, now the referee's took away a couple of limps, no one's looking, and he'll jog back into play again there. Referees remember that.
Out the back quickly by Joe Kuzminski. Atula Guerra now on the attack. And it's been a good foot race all night, hasn't it, Derek, between Endam and Atula Guerra, the Charleston Battery's leading goal scorer. Yeah,
no, it has. It's been a great battle. As I said, I think, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ian Swanterson come in just to pick that battle up a little bit further. But we'll see.
Daniel Hackshaw makes his way back. Tanari into Moreno. Moreno, another one, just 23 years old, only 5'6", really uses his agility to his benefit. The New Jersey native has a couple of MLS apps. Kuzminski. That is going to be a yellow card. And what do you think of that one, Derek?
Well, I think the referee's had enough of his moaning. He's gone down. I think he's given it for simulation. Skylar Thomas is trying to get him out of there. All he's going to do is talk himself into further trouble. And what the referee's done here is ignited the crowd. There you go. Look, he's gone in, and you can see Taylor Mueller there. He knows he hasn't touched him. You know, it's a dive, and the referee's, you know, he's given him the card. You know, technically the referee's got it right. And Skylar Thomas is trying to talk him out of trouble, and he's trying to talk himself back into trouble. So,
well, we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, it's a game of emotions, especially in the playoffs, especially given the last couple of matches between these two sides. Here comes Anunga, out wide for Rittmeyer, who is offside.
He's just kicked the ball away. That's a stupid play at this stage of the game. You know, his team's behind. He's got to think better than that. And, you know, I think that's just more frustration with himself. You know, he should be looking along the line. He shouldn't be getting offside from there. He knows better than that. He's a wide player.
Paulitz out the back, makes his 19th start tonight for John Wolniak. Came through the Red Bull Youth Academy. He's on an MLS contract. Went to college at Wake Forest and now back with the Red Bulls.
There's a good break here now. Here's Van Schaik with Bolt overlapping. And he does that willingly, doesn't he, Jay Bolt? He doesn't mind getting on the outside.
Positive touch from Bolt. One-on-one with the defender. Can he get the cross in? Endam's there, leaves it for Loro.
And again, I think Gordon Wild has to do a little bit more for himself there. So it's a ball in. He knows what's coming. He knows Jay Bolt's not a left footer. And he just has to make sure he gets across there. A couple of times, the Battery tonight has been a little bit guilty of not committing fully into that 6-yard box when balls have come in and they're a little bit short.
Van Schaik dropping back to help out in the back line. That was a risky one from Endam, who couldn't quite get the contact on that he wanted. Rittmeyer tracks across the pitch. Just got caught between two decisions there.
Yeah, again, I like to see him get it and go on the outside. I think, you know, when you run inside, you're always running into pressure. You run on the outside, you're running into, you know, clear grass, and it's one-on-one. And I think he does his best work, Nico, running wide, and I'm sure that's what the coaching staff will be telling him.
The winner of this match will take on the USL regular season champions FC Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium, who beat Nashville SC earlier on today in penalty kicks. Talked about what a fantastic matchup that was, and still all to play here at MUSC Health Stadium. Yeah, I mean, that game shows you can't take your eye off it. You know, it went all the way to the wire, and there's, you know, this game could go the same way, all the way to penalties. You know, there's a goal either way, then the momentum changes. Could this be a chance? Because Minsky out of the back looks to play the ball quickly. There's a bit of frustration from Wild, but he will chase. And again, I think Joe Minsky's done that 3 times tonight. He's just, you know, overplayed too quickly, and he doesn't need to. You know, the Battery they're in a good part of the game now. They're on top. They're the ones pushing. That's a better clearance. That's a good ball out of the back. Takes a deflection right into the path of Bolt. He has Van Schaik with him. Takes the option to Guerra at the top of the box. Numbers absolutely swarming him. Rittmeyer has an overlapping run from Skylar Thomas. Can he get the negative in? Retrieves the second ball. The Canadian international stuck in the corner with Rittmeyer. Back to Mueller, who can put it into the box. Overcooks it, and Loro is sent chasing it out wide. I'm not sure he's happy to let that go out for a throw there. I think he'd have been better off trying to grab that and even taking it back into his box. Because now he's put his team under a lot of pressure there. I think if he'd have just tried to grab that or cleared it up the field, but now they're under pressure again. Cutler, lofty ball out the back, into the middle of the park. Tenari for Barlow. Goes back to Yarnes, who opts for the long diagonal. The foot race is on once again. And Hackshaw just ensures it runs out of ground. So now we're entering that last 20 minutes, and, you know, a little bit of desperation will start to kick in, I'm sure, for the Battery. You know, they're going to have to try and get it forward. A little bit of gamesmanship from New York Red Bulls too is going to come into this game now. So let's see how experienced these young players are. Paulitz for Cutler. Switches once again, this time for Jared Stroud. 11 assists on the season so far, putting Skylar Thomas, under some pressure. But it's Thomas that comes out on top. Now the fans come to their feet, because could this be a good ball? He takes the knee. He'll want that one back, Derek. Yep. Absolute right idea. Van Schaik was in. Just Loro too quick for him. Yeah, no, it was. He knew what he was doing. It was the right pass. It was definitely the right pass. He just didn't make the right connection. You know, he rolled it across it. If it had been a bit flatter, it'd have been a perfect pass. Hackshaw. Tenari gets the seconds. The game really, really has opened up now. Yarnes towards the top of the box. Stroud. Good defending from Hackshaw. And Bolt runs straight through it. And Nunga. The battery trying to get numbers up. Atula Guerra takes it off his feet, looks for the 1-2. Can they switch the flank? Here comes Gordon Wild. He's got space. He puts it on his left foot. Just great save by Lauro once again.
Again, though, you know, I know some of the players were a bit upset with him there, but again, he's hit the target. You know, he's very confident on his left foot, so it came wide. He's very positive there. Look, great run there. And as I said, he's made the keeper make a save. You can't complain when players do that. It's a great attitude, and you know, for young players, if you don't shoot, you don't score.
Again, a fantastic strike from Gordon Wild, the Atlanta United loanee, who has 7 goals on the season so far for the black and yellow. Red Bulls looking to break out of their own half. The battery are on the front foot. Wild again. This time it falls for Guerra. Tenari out to Stroud just below me. It looks like John Wolniak is getting ready to make a change. We'll see the first substitution for Red Bulls. And that trickery didn't pay off for Gordon Wild. Kuzminski forced out the back. That was a dangerous one. Aganaga picked it up. It could almost be an open goal. Stroud one-on-one. And Kuzminski does enough. Skylar Thomas was covering the net. But very, very risky play at the back from Mike Anhauser's side.
I think it's a case of they need to now. They're getting a little bit desperate. They've got a lot more time possibly than they think. So they're gonna chase it out, and then that great pressure there. They've got a corner there, great pressure by Van Schaik now. Now they just need to get composed. Don't play quickly. Get in the box. Come on.
Well, you can see everybody up below us on their feet. Van Schaik's gonna leave it for Gordon Wild to whip one into the box. John Wolniak's substitution is gonna have to wait. Here comes Gordon Wild with the outswinging left foot. Numbers are flooded into the box. Wild with the delivery. It's a good ball in. Takes a deflection. Tarbaran Anunga picks up the second ball. He's got Rittmeyer with him. Again, you could see him looking for the negative. This time it will be Jay Bolt to recycle. Lauro there. Atula Guerra just not quite putting himself in the mix.
No, I think he had a chance to get on the end of that. He just didn't do it. He's trying to be a little bit sneaky now. But no, again, it was a good ball in, and you know, as a centre forward, you want them balls thrown up there so you can, you know, get in amongst them. But just a little bit of lack of desire there, you think.
Good work from Rittmeyer. Can't do enough. Stroud opens up. Red Bulls looking to join in. Again, back and forth. Kelly. Space in the middle of the park. Switches out wide. Rittmeyer's there. Can't get through the challenge of Yarnes at the back.
That was great defending, wasn't it? It was a last-ditch tackle, but he made sure he got the ball. He, you know, missed time there. He could have been in trouble. That's great play by the defender.
You've got to say these wingers have done a lot of running tonight on both teams. Aganaga.
If there is any neutrals watching, it's been a great open game, hasn't it? You know, all out attacking, and as I said, the only thing that's really been missing is you know, some actual goals. I mean, which is unusual for these two teams.
The build-up is there from the Red Bulls, and Kuzminski quick to opt out the back yet again. Endam and Atula Guerra just been colliding all night together. Well, this is going to bring up the chance for John Wolniak's substitution, and we're going to see Stephen Echeverria make his way in, and Aganaga comes out for the substitution.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point now where a few players are going to get tired now as well. You know, these playoffs come after a long, hard season, and as I said, you know, this is a little bit of gamesmanship here, walking out, taking their time, running the clock down. I was talking earlier to someone and saying, you know, the referees have to understand it's not that they add time on, it just breaks the game up, kills the momentum, slows the game down. And that's what frustrates the players and the coaches.
Echeverria is on in the middle of the park. The 22-year-old makes his 19th appearance tonight. 80% passing accuracy. He'll just look to shore up the middle of the park, been very open. The Red Bulls take the deflection with the throw in at the Battery's third.
Yeah, so we're not quite at that desperation stage yet, but the nearer you get into that last 10, 5 minutes, you know, that's when the Battery really are going to have to take some risks, and that's when the danger comes of conceding that second goal in a game that's as tight as this. But, you know, again, you've got to say what other tricks are up the sleeve of Mike Anhauser to finish this game out.
Stroud into the box, away by Hackshaw, who finds Gordon Wild. Can he lead on Atula Guerra, who is offside? Well, the fans are gutted below us. They were on their feet, and you've got to say, Derek, that will look very close from where we were sat.
Yeah, I think he's right, though. I think that, you know, we can't. The people on TV may not be able to see the cutting of the grass, but you can see here definitely that he's just, as he just glides in, he's just offside. He tries very, very hard, doesn't he, to run wide, but he just can't keep onside.
Fantastic ball through from Wild. And if he had been onside, he would have absolutely been away. Anunga and Kelly, the duo in the middle tonight, carry on the fight. Bolt loses his footing, but keeps the ball. Ball into the box. Forced away, back to sender.
Jay Bolt's done really well on it tonight. You know, he's got put some great deliveries in with his left foot, and it's not his strongest foot. I think we may see a Patrick Okonkwo or something. I think I just saw him getting ready to come on, and he'll be another exciting player at this stage of the game with his pace and power. And he's been scoring goals as well, so I hope that'll be another good positive sign for this last 10 minutes. Another dimension that the Battery can throw at this young team.
Thomas getting the momentum into the attack. Red Bulls with the clearance. Mueller for Hackshaw. The Battery will build from the back. Can they switch the flank? Rittmeyer wide open. This time again it's Bolt through. Can Bolt find feet in the box? He cannot, but he does enough to earn a corner. And you've got to say, like you said, Derek, Jay Bolt just been knocking at the door all night. The fans really getting behind the home side now. Gordon Wild fast over to take it. And they want to keep this momentum going. Gordon Wild this time with the delivery. Numbers thrown forward. Angelo Kelly, the only one left outside the box. This time to the near post.
This might be a better angle for him to try and cross.
Just escaped his foot.
Yeah, no, I think he just took his eye off the ball there. He was thinking about what he's going to do, and he just hit him and went out. And the referee's going to keep on top of this gamesmanship, but so the Battery trying to get Patrick Okonkwo on now.
Patrick Okonkwo is ready to make his way into the match. It's Nico Rittmeyer to come off. Nico Rittmeyer with a phenomenal game tonight. Hard work down these wings.
Yeah, you can't, every one of these players has given their all. You just hope for the home team and the home fans that they can get that one breakthrough that could probably take this game into extra time, make us work another 30 minutes and go from there.
Well, we've seen all season long what a change these fresh legs from Mike Anhauser's substitutions can do. A couple of super sub moments in added time. And the fans really trying to lift the home side up now.
And if there's one player you do want to come on, it is Patrick Okonkwo, isn't he? He's got great speed, strength, he's very hard to find, and he demands the ball. So, and he definitely will get in on the far post, you know that.
Mike Anhauser looks like he has 4 in the attack now. The 2 Atlanta United loanees out on this right-hand side together. Good defending from the rookie Angelo Kelly. Back to Thomas. Thomas assessing his options, took just a step too long on the clearance out the back. Stroud almost made him pay for that one.
He just got a little bit too casual there. He's got to play a little bit sharper. I think what he did is he watched the run of Okonkwo and should have played it first time and didn't.
Safety in numbers from Red Bulls, but it's Patrick Okonkwo who comes out on top. Gordon Wild is offside.
Well, that's a hard one. If we get to see this again, the referee has made that decision from 5 yards behind the play because he was chasing Gordon Wild there. I think he got caught a bit ball watching there, right there, and just.
So here comes another change for John Wolniak's side. Of course, it's Armando Moreno that's on the opposite side of the field, who takes his time to walk across, the referee walking with him now to ensure he is hurrying up. And on comes Jordan Scarlett, who makes his 19th appearance tonight. He was the 3rd round pick in the 2017 MLS Super Draft, and a very dangerous player for this Red Bull 2 side. Leads the team in tackles. And we'll keep our eye on him tonight. He's going to get his first touch on the ball by getting us back underway from the back. So John Wolniak just adding an extra man in there to try and shore things up for the visitors. And Gordon Wild has won this set piece. Let's just hope that he is able to be up on his feet. No damage done.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll want to get up and get on with it. He took one into the back, didn't he? There it was the coming together of about 2 or 3 players. We'll get to see it again there. Van Schaik lost control. Boom, there you go, and just gets caught. The defender gets caught the wrong side, and it just comes in and hits him back. But now he's got to compose himself, get rid of that pain, and then just look to see if he can get good delivery into the box now.
Here comes Gordon Wild's delivery. He's taken the majority of set pieces. It's Mueller tracking to the back post. Tanari trying to give his team a chance to get up, and Anunga steps through. Can Kuzminski recycle quick enough to keep numbers in the attack?
I think now it is that time now where you've got to start throwing everything forward. You know, just make them play under pressure. Get as many bodies there, fight for those second balls, and see what you get. And if, you know, you're going to have to take a few risks at the back.
Skylar Thomas making his way up into the attack. Here comes Gordon Wild. Atula Guerra just not really getting a look in tonight. You can tell Red Bulls too have done their homework trying to mark him out the game, and they've done a good job of it.
Yeah, no, he's as I said, he's just been off a little bit. You know, last couple of games, you know, towards the end of the season, he's become more of a creator, and tonight they really needed his goals. And, you know, never count him out. I mean, there's a couple of minutes left. You know, he scored goals late on in games, and you know, he's one of those players that once it starts going right for him, it picks him right up again.
Mueller wins the aerial battle. Van Schaik with the second. Falls across park for Thomas.
And they just need to get forward and work off those second balls.
You can hear the fans just really getting behind them now for this last 5 minutes of regulation time here in Charleston, South Carolina. Atula Guerra can't turn on it. Just so clinical at the top of the box, but there's been so much traffic in his way today. Okonkwo. Shroud forced loose. John Wolniak furious just below us. He is up off his sideline.
Yeah, he wants that ball put into the corner, not into midfield. He wants to, you know, he's been around the block a bit. He wants it played forward, get it in front of people, chase it. And Guerra, you know, Guerra's, it's the end of his season. He needs to get a little bit more interested in this last couple of minutes.
Red Bulls 2 won the USL Championship in 2016, made it all the way to semi-finals last year and lost on penalty kicks to Louisville, who became the new USL reigning champions. A team that just does well in playoffs, and the Battery have got to find a response in this final 4 minutes left to play here. Ian Svanteson, the 6'6" striker, is below me, and it's Gordon Wild to make his way off. A quick change for Mike Anhauser, And can the super sub provide that goal they so desperately need at this point in the game?
Yeah, I think it's the last throw of the dice in it from Coach Anhauser. You know, we've got a big guy up there who can definitely put himself about. And then if Jay Bolt can get a couple more crosses into the box, that's a very intelligent play there. He's just got it out, you know, so that now and Swanson will run around. He's off the field now. I don't know why that player's gone over to get him. He'll get up and on with it.
Mike Anhauser has used all 3 substitutions. If the game does go to extra time, he will be allowed 1 more substitute. But here comes a dangerous attack from Red Bulls too. It's Stroud and Tanari that are in the attack. And the Battery win the set piece out of the back. John Wolniak's hands on his head below us. As you said, Derek, he wants to keep it in those corners now. And could the Battery catch Red Bulls off guard? Several of them still with their hands in the air in the Battery's half. Again, Atula Guerra just can't get free from Endam.
It's a great pass in there by Anunga.
Van Schaik returns to Anunga. The Cameroonian with a ground ball into the box. Patrick Okonkwo's there. Kelly looking to get the second ball in. Away by the Red Bulls. Time really is of the essence now. 2 minutes of regulation left to play. Kuzminski well off his line. Thomas joining in the attack. Part of the 3-man back line, and now it's a case of throwing numbers forward, Derek.
Yeah, no, they've got nothing to lose now, as you know, as I said. And, you know, if there is another goal, you know, if you're going to go down, you might as well go down fighting and positive. And as I said, I think that's where, you know, the Battery now just got to throw everything forward, haven't they? You know, I'm sure it won't be too long before you see maybe Mueller or Thomas or Hackshaw make their way forward for this last couple of minutes. And I'm sure there's a set piece. Don't be surprised to see Joe Kuzminski up there.
Okonkwo trying to get around Endam if he can get it into the box. Yes, he can, and Loro answers his call.
And we're hearing it's going to be 4 minutes of added time, so that gives us about 6 minutes left. And, you know, you'd like to think there's one more chance in this game. And, you know, again, the great thing about this game is it's 1 second to score a goal, right? The old famous cliche.
Well, for 6 minutes for the Red Bulls might feel like 60, but for the Battery, I'm sure it's going to feel like 2.
Yeah, no.
Good step from Mueller, really battling out the back, pushing the line forward.
And if you're Mike Anhauser, you can't fault your players. They've absolutely given everything, haven't they, to try and get this game back on turn. You know. And you know, that's the downside to soccer at this level, that you know you work all season and it can come down to one game, one mistake, one goal. And you've
got to say all the players tonight have really put it in. Some tired legs for sure creeping in at this point in the game. Van Schaik has to give it back to the visitors. And it might have one more change from John Wolniak below. And here it comes. It's going to be Lucas Storfer to make his way onto the pitch when we get the second. And again, the referee just having a word with Jared Stroud, because he is the substitution. Just time wasting there. He's already on a yellow card. He's lucky not to come off with a red there. The change has been made. Lucas Storfer back on the pitch, and Jared Stroud makes his way off.
So here we go, last couple of minutes now. As I said, normally in these games you always get one last chance. It's just whether it goes in or not, and that chance could change the whole complex of the game, the playoffs, everything.
Anhauser up off his bench below us. Skylar Thomas up in the air. Second ball out the back by Thomas with the volley. Again, Endam holding on to Atula Guerra in the attack. Kelly, the call is forward from Mike Anhauser below us. course, time is ticking down in added time. Svanteson, sorry, into the box. Guerra's there. The call hasn't come, but it has come for a corner kick. The fans below, all on their feet, hands on heads. And this has got to be a good delivery from Patrick Okonkwo, Derek.
Yeah, no, it has. I think Van Schaik's have to go, and here's what they're claiming for. They're claiming for a penalty. He's claiming he got the ball there. Good bit of gamesmanship there by Guerra. He knew what he was doing, trying to get it in.
It's Van Schaik with the delivery. It's do or die for the Battery. In from Hackshaw. Again, another corner has been given.
And they're claiming handball. They're claiming
Patrick
handball.
Okonkwo furious in the box. Mueller does well to pull him away. Hands on heads from the Battery players. Again, another delivery to the near post. And up over the bar by Mueller. Still time.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of time. As I said, in this game, as I said, the players just got to keep kicking at it. I think, as I said, the longer the game went on without scoring, panic sets in, and, it was a good delivery there. The referee's trying to keep, the players, very much in check with this time wasting. He's done a very good job of doing that.
Of course, a big ball out the back.
It's just got to be helped forward.
Scarlett keeping them on side now. Patrick Okonkwo on his tail. The Battery want to deliver this ball as quickly as possible. Anunga's got it for Kelly in the middle. Back to Thomas. They've got to get it into the attack at this point in the game. Lofty ball into the box. Svanteson's there. Van Schaik brings it down. He needs to take a strike from the top of the box.
Yeah, or play it wide. Jay Bolt was free there, wasn't he? He just picked the wrong option there. And that's the danger in these last minutes. You get so frantic, everyone's trying to pick the right ball, the final ball. It's just a case of get it forward now and see if you can win the second ball.
Hackshaw into the attack. Skylar Thomas is there. It falls for Guerra. The fans desperate for Atula Guerra to take a strike from the top of the box. Will he have time for one? Just one is all they need for the chance to tie it up. It's been all the Battery in this late going of this very back and forth match. Come on, Neville, Hackshaw is the shout.
Yeah, just got to get the ball in the box as best they can.
And to the rescue for the visitors, Barlow puts it out of bounds. Under 2 minutes left to play. The fans are on their feet below us. It's high, shoot the ball, another shout from the fans. It's into the arms of Evan Lauro. Svanteson couldn't get the power and direction on it.
That was a great ball in, great header. He got enough power that he could do, but he was a little bit too far out to really make a difference. Goalie's right on the threshold there of time wasting, and there it is.
The final whistle from MUSC Health Stadium. The Red Bulls take the match 1-0. They will advance into the next round to take on FC Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium. The Battery players down below, but you've got to say, Derek, both teams really put in a phenomenal shift tonight.
Yeah, listen, the one thing Mike Anhauser can't do is complain about the effort that his team had. I'm sure as a coach he'll look at some of the quality of the finishing and the little decision making around the box, but for pure effort, that was absolutely great effort by the players. They'll be distraught, all their season comes down to that one game, one goal. Like everyone else, they'll be thinking, what if, what could have, what if this would have happened. But the bottom line is on the night, the Red Bulls did get the quality finish. Tom Barlow was there, was the difference in the teams. Took a great strike from outside the box, and that's going to be the difference. That's what everyone goes on. That's what it's going to show in the record books.
Well, it has been a night of many, many chances. Let's see if we can take a look at some highlights. We're going to actually take a quick break now, but when we come back, we'll have a look at those highlights. Stay with us. We'll be back in a mo. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. The Charleston Battery hosted the New York Red Bulls 2 in the first round of playoffs, and it was Tom Barlow the difference tonight, but a game of many chances. Derek Broadley, let's see if we can take a look at some highlights from tonight's match.
Yeah, let's go back to the start of the game, and you know, it was a real good opening sort of 15 minutes by New York Red Bulls 2. This culminated with this goal here from Tom Barlow. A great strike at the edge of the box. You know, it was a clinical finish. We'll see it again. I'm sure he cuts in onto his favoured right foot and just bends the ball round Joe Kosminski for a fine finish, and that, you know, ended up being it. But at that time, there was lots of other chances that were to follow, and I'm sure we'll see a couple from Gordon Wild. Here's his free kick that fizzes across the box, and Skylar Thomas just can't get there. The next one, I think, is where we get Jay Bolt who done some great work, tireless work tonight. Goes down the side and he just rolls it in there to Gordon Wild, who spins his player, hits the target, and there's a great save, isn't it? You have to say down low to his right-hand side. So there was another one, and then there's Jay Bolt again, and you know, we mentioned him all night. Another great ball in here and another good save. And I think the last one we'll probably get to see here is, you know, where Gordon Wild really extends himself and tries to get in, but you know, they huffed and puffed the whole night. There was some good interactive play, some great balls fizzed across. The only thing that was really missing was a clinical finish, and Tom Barlow has to take credit because he was the one that got it, and that's going to seal the game and allow them to move on to have their opportunity against Cincinnati. And
you've got to say, so many players stood out tonight for both sides. It really was a battle to the very final second, but it's Red Bulls 2 who advanced, like you said, Derek. They will play FC Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium next Saturday. But the Charleston Battery have had a phenomenal season. What a year it's been. Mike Anhauser celebrated his 25th anniversary at the club. A great year all around. On behalf of me, Poppy Miller, Derek Broadley, director Shay Musgrady, producer Matt Peacock and Nick DeSanto, cameramen Andy Bushnanen, Bernal Jackson, Telly Hollins, John Grady and Jay Lloyd. Thank you all for joining us for an incredible season. We'll look forward to seeing you all again next year, but right now it's so long from Charleston. Have a fantastic evening. We'll see you next year.
Transmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.